Good morning, everybody. Yesterday, Mrs. Robinson read you a story called Here a Moo, There a Moo, Everywhere a Moo Moo, and you learned about cows. And today we are going to be reading a story called Here a Cluck, There a Cluck. I bet you guessed it. We are going to be reading about chickens on Old MacDonald's farm. Before we get started, we need to know some vocabulary words. The first word we need to know is the word collects. That means to bring together, okay? And since we're talking about chickens, I bet they're going to be talking about collecting the eggs. Hatch, that means to come out of an egg. Peck, that's if something bites or strikes at you with a beak. And perching is sitting on a branch or another place like a bird. Old MacDonald here again. This time I want to tell you about chickens. I have a few chickens on my farm, but some farmers have lots of chickens. Chickens are birds, but they do not really fly. Like any bird, chickens have feathers, feet, beaks, and wings. But chickens cannot fly. They can flap their wings, and sometimes a chicken can get a few feet off the ground or even to the top of a shed roof. But chicken bodies are not suited for flying. Some farmers let their chickens out in the yard to peck around for insects, seeds, and other food on the ground. As long as there is food to be found, chickens tend to stay close to home, so there is little need to worry about them running away. Generally, chickens need help from the farmers to get all the food they need. The farmer feeds them special pellets called chicken feed, or he can feed them dried corn, wheat, or oats. All night and all the time on some farms, chickens live in the chicken coop. A chicken coop is not a fancy shelter. It usually consists of a small building where the chickens make their nest and where they roost or sleep at night. The chicken coop also has a fenced-in dirt yard. The main reason for having a fence is to keep other animals out. Chickens are tasty, and because they can't fly, they would be easy prey for other animals, including owls, foxes, raccoons, weasels, and skunks. These creatures are nocturnal predators, meaning they are animals that hunt at night, so every farmer needs to make sure that the chickens are all safely locked up in the coop every night before he or she goes to bed. Female chickens are called hens. Hens lay eggs, which many people like to eat. On some farms, the farmer collects the eggs from the chicken's nest each morning and evening. On other farms, the hens lay their eggs in cages with sloping bottoms so the eggs roll out onto a conveyor belt that collects them. The farmer and his family eat the eggs, or they sell them to other people. Eggs have hard shells. If you crack the shell, you can break open the egg and release the yolk and white. Egg yolk is yellow and white. White is usually all clear through, and it turns white when you cook it. Some people like to eat fried or scrambled or boiled eggs for breakfast. Eggs are also used to make other foods, including cakes, cookies, and other baked goods. This hen laid several eggs, and now she is sitting on her eggs. If the farmer does not collect the eggs, the hen will keep sitting on them to keep them warm and protected. This is called nesting. After the hen sits on the eggs for about 21 days, something amazing will happen. A chick will be born, and it will use its beak to crack open the shell from the inside. For 21 days, the chick has gradually grown inside the egg. All this time, it has been using the egg yolk and white as its food. Within a few hours, the chick will be fluffy and yellow. On some farms, the eggs are hatched in incubators, machines that warm the eggs just like a mother hen. Hens are good mothers. They naturally know to sit on eggs to keep them warm and how to raise baby chicks. They will even sit on other hens or other birds' eggs. Unlike cows and pigs, chickens do not produce milk to feed their young. After the chicks hatch, they quickly learn to scratch and peck. Soon these chicks will be ready to peck the ground to find food for themselves. Male chickens are called roosters. The farmer usually only keeps one rooster in the chicken coop. Roosters do not lay eggs. Like the hens you saw earlier, this rooster has a red comb on top of his head. If you compare this rooster to the hens, you will also notice that he has a larger wattle. The wattle is a flap of bare skin that hangs down on the bird's throat. So I'll show you right here. Right there is the wattle. Roosters have larger wattles than hens. Roosters are famous for perching on fences and even on rooftops. If they can flap or scamper to the top of the barn and crowing cock-a-doodle-doo, roosters are alarm clocks for farmers because they often crow as soon as the sun starts to rise. And getting up early is just fine for farmers because they know that the early bird gets the worm. Roosters continue crowing from time to time throughout the day, but they usually do not go cock-a-doodle-doo at night. Of course, farmers don't raise chickens just for their eggs. Many people like to eat chicken. One of my favorites is fried chicken, but some folks like to eat roasted chicken or barbecued chicken. A popular food many kids like to order when they go out to eat is called chicken fingers. Of course, chickens do not really have fingers. Chicken fingers are simply strips of cooked chicken meat that you eat with your fingers. Well, that's about everything I can tell you about chickens, and mine are probably getting hungry right now. So I better go throw a few scoops of feed into the coop. Okay, and we do have the comprehension questions. The first one is, what is the main topic or main idea of today's lesson? The second one is, what do you see in this picture? Oh, I better show you the picture, huh? There you go, that picture right there. What do you see in that picture? Um, how do chickens get the food that they need? How do chicks begin their life? Once the chicks have hatched, how do they get the food that they need? And why do many chicks spend time in a chicken coop? How can you tell the difference between a hen and a rooster? How are chickens like other birds that you might see outside? Why do farmers raise chickens? And do you like to eat eggs and or chicken meat? All right, so those are your comprehension questions. And for our word work today, the word that we're going to be talking about is the word collects, okay? So in the read aloud you heard, on some farms, the farmer collects the eggs from the chicken's nest each morning and evening. Okay. If a person collects things, he or she brings them together and saves them. For example, my grandfather collects old coins. Okay. So today I'm going to be saying some things, and you're going to be using the word collects. Okay. So I want you to try to use a complete sentence. I'll do the first one for you. Steve picks up lots of shells at the beach and puts them in his pail. So you would say, Steve collects shells. Okay. Gina has friends and family send her postcards, which she keeps in a box. Okay. So then your response would be, Gina collects postcards. Sue keeps all of her favorite rocks that she found in a pail. Juan has more than 50 baseball trading cards in his desk. And the squirrel hides dozens of acorns to eat during the winter. Okay, so there's our story and our comprehension questions and our word work for today. Have a great day.